Muken, Saito Furōfushi, and Aizen Soseki. These are the keywords I wanted to start this video guys with, because they will shape its entire topic, a truly important discussion about the prisoners of Muken, that mysterious underground prison that is rarely mentioned, yet hides enormous secrets within it. In this video guys, we're going to explore one of the original Gotei 13 members and ask, is she truly imprisoned in Muken? Could she even be the first prisoners ever placed there? We'll dive into all of this by examining one of the most intriguing theories out there. And to begin guys with, Muken has always fascinated me. Sure, the prison became widely known after Aizen's trial and the moment he was confined there, since Muken is reserved only for individuals whose powers make their execution literally impossible. But my real interest grew even deeper when the novel Spirits Are Forever video came out. It revealed that Aizen Soseki wasn't the only prisoner down there. Another Shinigami, no less mysterious, was imprisoned as well, the 8th Kenpachi, who was tried 200 years ago and locked away in the hidden prison. From that point forward, my curiosity only grew. Who else could be held in such a place? And I think guys, some of you even remember that years ago I made an old video where I imagined a scenario. What if Aizen escaped from Muken? What if he took other prisoners with him and formed a new alliance and continued his war against the Shinigami and Zero Division? Of course, that was nothing more than a what if story. But what reignited my curiosity recently was the official reveal of the Gotei 13, the original version, both in the manga or the anime. Their appearance this time was stronger and clearer, and Kubo finally gave us their names and divisions they belong to. And I also made a previous video when I talked about the fate of those captains. I mentioned that possibly that some of them might have ended up in Muken. After all, the original Gotei 13 were not a noble military institution we know today. They were ruthless killers, criminals, and overwhelmingly powerful individuals. And after that massive shift that occurred following the war with Yuaba, it becomes completely reasonable that some of those former captains, whether due to their crimes, their dangerous abilities, or simply because letting them roam free posed a threat to the balance of the entire Soul Society, would end up in Muken. That is why guys, we have a Japanese theory that has been widely circulated on X. It talks about a former member of the Gotei 13 who might actually be in Muken because of his name, and she is Saito Furōfushi. If we look closely at this name guys, we find it's formed from 4 kanji, where one kanji repeats twice. And this repeating kanji is a negation marker used in Japanese to negate whatever comes after it, similar to saying no peace or no hatred, and so on. Interesting, right? Now if we analyze the kanji that comes after the first negation marker, we find that it represents aging or growing old. So when we combine these first 2 kanji, the meaning becomes no aging or absence of growing old. Then we move to the second part of the name, where we again see a negation marker followed by a kanji that signifies death. When combined, the meaning becomes no death or absence of dying. And this gives us guys the complete meaning of Saito's personal name: no aging and no death. In other words, the name Furōfushi isn't a typical name at all. It's a literal description of an immortal being. These kanji together express the true meaning of eternity, both in the sense of unending youth and the impossibility of death. And if we take this meaning seriously guys, then Saito's name feels far from random. It almost seems like a deliberate hint from Kubo about the Shinigami's nature and the mystery surrounding her. So does her name reflect her actual ability? Does she possess a power that halts the aging process, or something else? And based on the profound implications carried by this name, some fans believe that Saito's name might not be just a casual family surname, but rather a direct hint about her true nature, as if her power were tied to the meaning of the name itself, not aging and not dying. And if we combine this possibility with the fact that she was once a murderer and dangerous criminal, it becomes plausible to assume that she committed acts punishable by execution. Yet, if If executing her is practically impossible due to her nature or ability, then the only solution would have been to imprison her in the Muken, just as it happened with Aizen and Asashiro Soya. However guys, we must consider all the interpretation of this name because the matter may not be related at all to an actual supernatural ability. Furōfushi could simply be a name given to her by her parents if she belonged to a noble family within the Soul Society. And this is something common, where names are sometimes chosen to represent a wish or symbolic meaning without any direct link to a real power. In that case, her name might have nothing to do with literal immortality. And there is also another possibility that I see also more logical. Saito might have chosen the name herself, replacing her original name with one that reflects her nature or the type of power she possesses. And perhaps, like many Shinigami, she earned a new title over time as others observed her unusual ability. And eventually, that title became the name everyone knows her by. And we also have guys some examples that support this interpretation. Captain Yamamoto himself was once known as Ijisai, a title given to him because of his first scar, until that nickname became the most common way people refer to him. Therefore, it is very possible that Saito's current name is simply a title she acquired from others because of her reputation or because of an extraordinary ability that made her seem as though she does not age or die. All of this adds layers of mystery to her name and keeps multiple interpretations open. Is it just a title, a symbolic family name, or a reflection of an actual dangerous ability that might be revealed in the future? More than that guys, we come to another equally important point. If we assume that Saito truly possesses abilities related to immortality and that she committed grave crimes which led her to be in Muken, can we consider her the first inmate in the history of that prison? In reality, I find this highly unlikely. The reason is simple guys. It makes no sense for the Muken to be less than 1,000 years old, at least for me. If we assume that Saito was imprisoned after the first war between the Shinigami and the Quincy's, that would mean the Muken was established after that war, meaning it would be less than 1,000 years old. But this idea does not align with the long history of the Soul Society, which spans thousands and thousands of years, and we're speaking about Shinigamis here. I mean, is it reasonable to believe that throughout all those long millennia, not a single Shinigami appeared with a dangerous or uncontrollable ability that made execution impossible? Could the Soul Society have lived for all those centuries without needing a prison designed for criminals who cannot be killed? That is why I think she may not be the first prisoner in the Muken, but rather one of its most prominent and dangerous prisoners. The prison itself, by its design and purpose, must have existed long before Saito's time. Therefore guys, I think if Saito is imprisoned there, she is not the beginning, but part of a long legacy stretching across centuries, and that Kubo has only revealed a small portion of. In the end guys, what do you think about this theory, about Saito herself? Tell me guys your opinions in the comments, and see you in my next video.